Have you ever thought about how your reality is created? And by reality, I mean the life you are living and how you're living it. If you never asked yourself this question, now is the time to do it. Once you understand how you are creating your reality, you step into the true power of actually doing something about it. Stay tuned. If I'd ask my former self this question of how her reality is created, she would answer something like through her circumstances, her upbringing, decisions and choices she made. But she would point out as well that the reality is the reality and that you just have to accept it to a certain degree. It's just hard work to make progress in your career. You have to restrict yourself if you want to lose weight. You have to accept who you work with. It's not really up to you unless you want to quit your job. One of the things that I was really good at was changing jobs and changing companies every time I wanted something better. And that was often. Every time I did not like something, I wished for it to be better. And the only possible way that I saw to make that happen was for a new job or a new employer. And I did this for 20 years. I worked for 9 different companies in those 2 decades, and I had 13 different jobs. Never in a million years would I have thought that the problem was me instead of the jobs or the companies. I just run the same patterns and programs in a new job or with a new employer, recreating similar situations so I would feel bored after a year, or putting myself into similar experiences to feel undervalued and underpaid. So I have an excuse to look for a new job again. Makes sense. And that job would finally be the answer to all my hopes and dreams. Obviously, it never came to that, because I never stopped imprinting those programs and patterns on any new job or company I worked for. And that's how I created my reality. My reality that there was no good company out there, that I always get bored very quickly in any job, and that they should always pay me more than they currently do given what I do for them. And have I stopped creating my reality from my subconscious programs and patterns? No, because that's how your reality is created. But now I know. And once you know, you can't not know. Once you understand that you are the one who's creating everything in your reality, and I mean everything, you can't really turn your back on it again. I mean, yes, you can, but what good does that do for you? Knowing that your inner world is creating your outer world is the holy grail of making any changes in your reality. Let me say that again. Knowing that your inner world is creating your outer world is the holy grail of making any changes in your life. But for it to work, you need to take responsibility for all of your reality. It does not just work for one area in your life and the other one not. No, it's universal. This applies to everything and everyone. You can decide to keep believing that making changes in your outer world helps you to feel better, feel different and be different. Or you decide to wake up and realize that your reality is a projection of all these internal parts of you. Your outer world is a reflection of your inner world. And nothing changes until you change. You see this in my personal example. I never changed on the inside. So when I changed jobs, I would just recreate the same reality, just with a different company name, some different colleagues, a different location. But all in all, it was the same experience over and over again. And it would have never changed if I would not have woken up and realized that it's me and not other people or other circumstances doing this to me. And accepting this takes guts. Most people will never allow themselves to take this responsibility. What would it mean if they suddenly realize that they are the reason why every relationship fails? How can it be that they can't find a new job and it has to do something with inside of them instead of the bad economy? How crazy to think that it's a program inside of them that makes them blow up in their kids' faces when they leave their stuff lying around the house. It takes guts. And most people only get to the point of accepting this when the pain is too big and they can't take it anymore. That is their wake-up call, when they realize that nothing is working and that something inside of them has to change for their life to change. How sad is it that it always has to come to that? But maybe that's how we humans want it to be. The fact is, we keep choosing to only change when it's almost too late. Am I right? For me, it was burnout. Having been burnt out probably for years, but finally accepting it was my wake-up call. Realizing that all of the changes I tried to make in my outer world did not make me feel better. Not the better work-life balance, nor the boundaries I put up between my job and my private life, nor the holidays, the breaks and the getaways allowed me to recover from the state that I was in. Nothing changes until you change. Once I accepted that I was burned out, I knew that something fundamentally had to change for me to get better. And for some reason, I just knew that this shift had to be made inside of me and not outside anymore. Changing the job or the company again was no longer an option. I finally got it. And once I realized it, that it was me who had to change, everything shifted. I suddenly saw answers all around me to the questions that I had. I read books about this before, but it never clicked. Now I suddenly read the same material as if it was for the first time. I finally got myself to dive deeper into other resources that I had lying around for months or years. And that's how I learned how I was recreating my reality on a loop, and that if I wanted to select a different reality, then I needed to select a different program inside of me. I knew I had to change my beliefs, my perceptions, my attitudes, and most importantly, my emotional addictions to the hormones of stress. Nobody has to ever go as far as becoming a teacher in all of this, like I did. You just have to find the teacher who can help you on this journey. But the decision to jump over this invisible line that keeps you from thinking that you can't really change your reality to fully taking responsibility that you are already creating everything in your reality, it has to come from you. Nobody can make this decision for you. It's not going to work. So ask yourself, is the pain already big enough for you to finally say yes? Are you sick and tired of nothing working despite all your efforts? Or are you currently realizing that you don't want it to get that far? And you rather learn this before you get worse? I am a person who has gone through all of this. I have made it my life passion to understand what works and what doesn't work. And I'm going to do this until I die. I'm giving you the opportunity to make this decision in a safe space with somebody by your side. I would be so honored to be the person by your side and help you cross this line once and for all. You can decide to join the Energy Academy and finally change your reality. Step onto a new timeline and select a new life journey. I just show you how to do it. You can find all the necessary information below this video. Thank you so much for watching this with me today, and I hope that you woke up a little bit or a lot. Every step counts. And with that, I love you and leave you. Talk soon and bye-bye.